are going to make fun of her. So that is Chrysanthemum's problem. But what we're going to be focusing on today is the important events that we learned yesterday leading up to the problem. So we're going to sequence those important events, and sequence means in time order. And important events we learned yesterday is the event that leads up to a problem or a solution. So today we are going to be sequencing important events. What are we going to be doing, class?
Sequence of important events.
So here are some vocabulary words that are going to come up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, it means always happens or doesn't change. Dreadful, bad or dislike. Whittled, loss of energy. Longingly, strong desire or want.
Where did it say want? Right there at the end. Oh.
All right, quietly. All right, we're going to start. Chrysanthemum by Kevin Hanks.
Oh, I know.
That's both orange or both. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' life. She's perfect, said her mother. Absolutely, said her father. And she was. She was absolutely perfect. Her name must be everything she is, said her mother. Her name is absolutely perfect, said her father. And it was. Chrysanthemum. Her parents named her Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum grew and grew and grew. And when she was old enough to appreciate it, Chrysanthemum loved her name. She loved the way it sounded when her mother woke her up. She loved the way it sounded when her father called her down for dinner. She loved the way it sounded when she whispered it herself. Chrysanthemum loved the way her name looked when it was written in ink on an envelope. She loved the way it looked when it was written on icing on her birthday cake. She loved the way it looked when she wrote it herself with her fat orange crayon. Chrysanthemum.
Why does she say fat orange
Chrysanthemum thought her name was absolutely perfect, and then she started school. On the first day, Chrysanthemum wore her sunniest dress, her brightest smile. She ran all the way to school. Hooray, said Chrysanthemum. School! But when Miss Chud took roll call, everyone giggled. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, upon hearing Chrysanthemum's name. It's so long, said Joe. It scarcely fits your name tag, said Rita, pointing. I'm named after my grandmother, said Victoria. You're named after a flower. Chrysanthemum whittled. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely true. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and informed Miss Chud that Chrysanthemum's name was spelled with 13 letters. That's exactly half as many letters that there are in the entire alphabet, Victoria explained. Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria, said Miss Chud. Now put your note. So I think that's just an important event that just led to a problem. Why is that an important event? Because we said that important event is an event that leads to a problem or a solution. What was the important event? The kids were making fun for. Sit up, please. So we're going to put this up here. Students are making fun of her at school. And we're trying to sequence, which means in time order to get to the problem. Chrysanthemum begins to believe her name is a bad name. If I had a name like yours, I'd change it, Victoria. As the students lined up to go home, I wish I could, thought Chrysanthemum whispered. Welcome home, said her mother. Welcome home, said her father. School is no place for me, said Chrysanthemum. My name is too long. It scarcely fits on my name tag, and I'm named after a flower. Oh, psh, said her mother. Your name is beautiful, and precious, and priceless, and fascinating, and winsome, said her father. It's everything you are, said your mother. Absolutely perfect, said her father. Chrysanthemum felt much better after her favorite dinner, macaroni and cheese with ketchup, and an evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed her name was Jane. It was an extremely pleasant dream. The next morning, Chrysanthemum wore her most comfortable jewelry. She walked to school as slowly as she could. She dragged her feet in the dirt. Chrysanthemum, 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 she wrote. She even looks like a flower, said Victoria as Chrysanthemum entered the playground. Let's pick her, said Rita, pointing.
Pick her.
Let's smell her, said Joe. Chrysanthemum whittled. She didn't think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful.
Up there. That was just like.
The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and said, "A chrysanthemum is a flower. It lives in a garden with worms and other dirty things."
Like you. I'm talking about Victoria.
"Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria," said Miss Chuck. "Now put your head down." "I just cannot believe your name," Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. "Neither can I," thought Chrysanthemum. "Welcome home," said Mother. "Welcome home," said her mother. "Welcome home," said her father. "School is no place for me," said Chrysanthemum. "They said I even looked like a flower. They pretended to pick me and smell me."
Ew.
"Oh, psh," said her mother. "They're just jealous and envious and brooding and discontented and dudiced," said her father. "They all mean the same thing," said her father. "Who wouldn't be jealous of a name like yours?" said her mother. "After all, it's absolutely perfect," said her father. Chrysanthemum felt a little trifle better after her favorite dessert, chocolate cake with buttercream and frosting, and another evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. Parcheesi is a board game.
Is it like sword sliders?
That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed that she was really a chrysanthemum. That means that she really thought she was the plant. She sprouted leaves and petals. Victoria picked her and plucked her leaves and petals one by one until there was nothing left but a scrawny stem. It was the worst nightmare of Chrysanthemum's. Chrysanthemum wore an outfit with 7 pockets the next morning. She loaded with pockets with her most prized possessions and her good luck charms. Chrysanthemum took the longest route to school possible. She stopped and stared at each and every flower. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. The flowers seemed to say.
She got rabbit foot.
So I think that another important event just happened here. That she just had a nightmare. The worst nightmare of her life.
I had a worst nightmare in my life. I told her I had like 20.
So I'm going to put that event there because I think that important event leads to the problem.
I thought my worst nightmare would be her being chased by a cat.
Chrysanthemum is having bad dreams about her name, which leads to the ultimate problem. Chrysanthemum begins to believe her name is a bad name. So these are in sequence. At first, this happened at school, kids are making fun of her, and then this leads to her bad dream, which leads to her ultimate problem.